Welcome back everyone to another Element Fission video. Today I will be showing you guys the best arena offense hero in the game currently. I've actually been delaying this video a little bit just because I know as soon as the devs see this video, they're absolutely nerfing this hero. So in the meantime, hopefully you guys do get to build him up and try him out because he is literally the only reason I've been able to finish top 10 in arena. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure you drop that thumbs up button, hit it. It does help. It lets me know what type of videos you guys are looking for, and let's get started. And before we show anything, I want to give a huge shout out to Mika2, my guildie, super OP guy. I think he's finished ranked 1 the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but he is the reason why this hero has become so popular, and he's the reason why the arena defense meta is, alright, maybe not that or that team, but the reason why the arena defense meta is changing from super stally, bruisery, just a bunch of bears. And yeah, so huge shout out to Mika because you have a big brain and everyone's going to appreciate you. At least all the owners of the Dark Bookworm are going to appreciate you. So let us actually take a look at the hero that I'm talking about, which is going to be the Dark Bookworm. I've actually slept on this hero for so long. It was one of my first few LD4s that I did pull. Little to know that he is literally the most broken arena offense hero in the game. Like, it's you know, a lot of people would say that the tree bookworm is broken for arena offense. He's absolutely worth using for sure, but this hero just takes the cake, and he's probably gonna get nerfed after we do put this video out. But what makes his hero so broken is his passive Forbidden Knowledge. The duration of all gain buffs and debuffs is reduced by 1 turn, meaning he can't have any buffs or debuffs for more than 1 turn active on him, which might kind of sound like a hindrance at first, but when you continue reading, at the start of each turn he gains a buff that you do not already have from the attack up, speed up, or crit up buff selection. And additionally, the bonuses you gain from these 3 buffs are increased by 50%. So this is what makes him so freaking broken. An increase of 50% means we are multiplying this 50% attack increase by 1.5. So it's a 75% attack increase once he has these conditions met. The speed up is going to be a 45 increase, and the crit up is going to be a 45 increase. So honestly, stat requirements, this hero is super easy to build. Not to mention, when you do have all of these 3 effects, your attack will ignore the passive skills of all enemies except the boss. And this is kind of huge because right now we're kind of in an arena meta where passives are so freaking strong on defense. The bears, the barbarians, literally everything has a freaking passive. So just this itself is so amazing. And honestly, one of the reasons why a lot of you guys probably really want a light music queen, because she does have the Oblivion to negate passives. But this is, guys, trust me, this is even better. So for stat requirements, actually, really quick, skill 2 is an AoE ability. It does scale with speed, so we are going to want to build speed on him because it's actually a really great speed multiplier there. And it is AoE, and it does have debuffs, so we're not really going to worry about putting effect accuracy on him to land these debuffs. Honestly, we're just trying to get as much damage from him as possible. The skill 1 is a single target ability. Once again, the debuff isn't super important. It does not scale with speed, so you know, there's that, but pretty much after you use the skill 2, everything should be nearly dead. And you guys are just going to be so shocked because when I first saw this hero in action, I was like, holy cow, I need to build him immediately. So for the stat requirements, basically, all you're looking for is giving him speed, so he's speed tuned in your team composition. It just means so you're less likely to get cut in by your opponent, because if your opponent does cut in, they can snipe your bookworm and then everything can go wrong after that. After that, like I said, he does get a 45% crit rate increase, so 55% crit rate is the goal, and then adding as much crit damage as possible while also giving him a nice amount of attack. and those are going to be the main stat priorities. And for anyone curious about the runes that I've got on my bookworm today, I'll just show them off a little bit. So slot 1, attack percent, crit damage, crit rate is what we're looking for. We do have them on this speed main stat for the slot 2. For slot 3, once again, we are kind of looking for that damage dealing duo trifecta substat, speed, crit rate, crit damage. Slot number 4, we've got crit damage. Luckily enough, we were able to get some speed here and then some crit rate. Slot number 5, once again, typical damage dealer substats that you're looking for. And slot number 6 is attack percent main stat with speed, crit rate, crit damage, and some flat attack to finish it off. For the sets, I mean, honestly, just throwing them on a Swift set is good enough. You could go broken for the 2-piece. You don't need to have power for the 2-piece. It's just really what I had to work with and what was available to me, and that is going to be our dark bookworm. For the team composition that you want him in, now this is kind of LD heavy, right? We've got the light ant cannon, we've got the light wisp catcher, and then we've got a natural 5-star music queen. So not super obtainable, but just to break down the roles here, we have a speed leader to help us contest speed racing in arena. And then we have a buff remover, which is going to be our fire music queen. She's also super amazing at this role. She even pushes back action bars, so she's even better. And then last but not least, we do have our defense breaker. And honestly, I was sleeping on this wisp catcher quite a bit, but after rereading his skill 3, the fact that he applies the defense down and does the action bar reduction, and it is unresistible, meaning you don't have to build accuracy on him and it cannot be resisted. I just man, I had to build him instantly as well. But I do kind of have a couple of team comps to show you guys that, you know, maybe you don't have all of these heroes to make the team comp. That's okay. You don't need this perfect team to make the bookworm work. So for team number 2, we've got the puppet. The puppet does have the AoE defense down with the skill 2 plus the passive and some decreased action bar, so that's amazing. We've got a attack bar booster from the pumpkin, which is one of the best ones available because he has such a high base speed. His skill 3 is going to increase the action bar everyone, making sure that you do not get cut in. And then we also have an ant cannon. I think this is honestly one of the better heroes to meet or fulfill these roles because he does have a buff remove on the skill 3, and then he does get an extra turn to apply the attack up and crit up. So honestly huge. I may be building him down the road in case I do get some duplicate dark bookworms so I can start using these guys together. We have another team. Honestly, you don't need the water puppet here. She's great because she does have the 25% speed lead, but you can use let me go back really quick. I do believe there is another hero. Okay, it looks like we do have reset. Happy reset, guys. But it does look like we have another speed lead, but I just don't have him. Honestly, guys, don't be like me. Don't feed non-dupes, but I did feed him. So we got the fire ant cannon. He is a speed lead. It's only 18, but he does have a defense down on the skill 2, and that's kind of what we were looking for with that role. So going back over here, we're going to jump back to this team number 3. This is one of the better buffers for this team comp. A lot of you guys are probably going to build it up because Fire Robo is not only good in PvP, but he's also great for the Abyss and mental dungeons. But mainly we're just looking at him for the skill 3. He's got the attack action bar increase 30%. That's great. He also provides 2 of the buffs to meet that 3 buff requirement, speed up and attack up, and the immunity is just a sweet bonus on top. So honestly, if you have Fire Engineer, I would probably be willing to build him over any of the other buffer options. And then we do have a AoE buff remover. This is my only other unique buff remover. He's got the skill 3 that does remove 2 buffs. That's good enough. So then we can basically just do Fire Robo first, buff remove into the defense break into the bookworm nuke. You don't need this light bomb man. I think there are other buff removers. We do have the dark engineer robot. He has the buff reduction by 1 turn, which is really all you need, because 1 turn of immunity is pretty much the majority of what you're going to be going against. I don't think people are going to be stacking seal sets anytime soon. So he's also great because he does have the action bar decrease on the passive as well. And then I do believe that the water one also, no, not the water one, the tree one. Yeah, I think it's the tree one. The tree one also has a similar ability. So there are definitely other alternatives that you can be using for this team comp. It's just today, this is what I've got built. So this is what I'll be showcasing. But once again, these 3 teams plus some other variations will absolutely work. So what makes this team so strong is this defense is really heavy on the passives. This passive doesn't really matter as much, excuse me, but the light bear is just such a menace. It's so difficult to deal with outside of being able to maybe control him with high enough effect accuracy or doing some sort of bombing. I know those strategies always work, or even like throwing in a dark joker, but that might not even be the safest route anymore. I do believe that the dark bookworm is the best team to deal with these passive heavy comps, and I'll show you guys why. And then first, I do just want to reiterate, for the team comps order, you do want either your attack booster to go first. In this case, I don't have an attack booster, so my team isn't really going to be super weak to anti-attack boosting like the light monk. But also I do have to speed tune my team a little better, so the speed tuning requirement, the gearing requirements are a lot heavier with this specific team comp versus if you were using something like this where you do have a 30% action bar increase on your team. Also, another thing, if you guys don't have Fire Music Queen but you do have the Tree Sorcerer, I think that is a better alternative, just because some people are stacking like a crazy amount of resistance. And another fun fact for you guys listening, resistance and accuracy does go above 100% in this game. So theoretically, if you have 200 accuracy and your opponent has 100 resistance, you will always guarantee landing your debuffs or whatever application you are doing. Or if you have 200 resistance and you only have 100 accuracy, you will guarantee resisting your team. So that's a little PSA, because I've seen quite a bit of confusion, because in Summoners War I do know there's a cap at 100%. That is not the case in this game. But like I was saying, the Tree Sorcerer, for the Fire Music Queen, she does require accuracy to remove the buffs, which can go south a little bit if people have crazy high resistance. Whereas the Tree Sorcerer basically has the action bar boost plus an unresistible buff removal. So I would say that the Tree Sorcerer is probably better in slot here, but you know, you have to make do with what you have. So here we go, let us just showcase why this team is so freaking OP. So once again, we are going to, in this team comp, gonna have our buff remover go first. She is really great because she does do the pushback as well. And then we're going to have our buff go up next. This doesn't have to be the case. You can have the buffs go next, or you can have the defense breaker go next. It really doesn't matter. But I was just trying to optimize my damage because my light wisp can kind of do some fluff damage. And then we're going to have our defense break go. And then we are going to have our... Okay, so this didn't work out as super well just because we did stun. So Tree or Water Merc Mommy did do some bad shenanigans, but everything's okay. As you guys could see, we just didn't even care about the light bear whatsoever. Completely nuked. And then we kind of just have to wait for the next reset, and we'll be on to our next one. And we've got another tanky light bear defense. Honestly, guys, let me know down below in the comments. Do you think bears are still going to be in the meta? I think now with this arena offense, especially as the time goes on, more people are going to be able to pull the dark bookworm. I feel like people are going to have some sort of speed threat in their defense now. They're not going to be able to go full stally tank unless there's some sort of trap in there with like a fate set of some sort. But we do have this light bear defense again. If we don't get outsped, that is the one downside about this team, is it does have heavy speed requirement, so make sure you guys are grinding the box out. But yeah, as long as we don't get outsped, and as long as we are giving the Dark Bookworm the 2 of the 3 buffs that are to meet the passive requirement, then the Dark Bookworm is going to move. He's going to give himself that 3rd buff to meet the 3 buff requirement, and then he's going to do massive damage. So let's just look for one more defense before we do end things. So maybe, I think we'll probably get outsped here because the Dark Pumpkin does have such a high base speed, but you know, for the video's sake, why not go into this? And okay, that's the one thing about the pumpkin on defense, is the AI is just not the best. So we buff up, we do the defense down, and massive nuke. So I don't know if you guys saw, but we are hitting for like 35 to 40k attack or damage. And right now, since the game is so early, there's not many heroes that are going to be able to survive a massive attack like that. Now, here is one of the defenses where I wish I had Tree Sorcerer, just because we've got a resistance lead. So that means that this guy can probably stack up to 200 resistance, and that would mean 100 accuracy is definitely not enough, but we're going to give it a shot. You know, Arena Rush is over. It doesn't really matter if we do lose, but I just want to show you guys like the potential and just how amazing the Dark Bookworm is. So let me just... boom! Massive nuke. And you know, this bear did survive, but it doesn't even really matter because he's weak enough to where we can just go ahead and skill on him and he's dead. So that is probably going to wrap up today's video. I really just wanted to showcase this amazing PvP hero. Maybe you guys have him, maybe you were sleeping on him like I was, but if that's the case, build him up and just make sure you're fulfilling the roles to get the job done. Just remember this, guys, all you need is a buff remover. A speed lead does help if you are, since we are going to be contesting speed with this specific team comp. A action bar increase does help you not cut in, and it relieves the speed requirement, because I don't know if you guys see, but since I don't have any action bar increases here, I had to make like everyone nearly 300 speed besides the Dark Bookworm, which isn't super obtainable for a lot of players right now. So that's why I probably think a lot of you guys are going to be building up the Fire Robo instead of this Light and Cannon one, because this is an LD4 and he's way more rare than an RGB Nat 4, and 2, because it's just not as heavy on the gear requirements. So if you guys did... okay, wait, really quick before we do end the video, once again, buff remover, buffer, defense breaker, speed lead to contest the speed, and then big boy damage. That's gonna wrap up today's video. If you want to see more future videos, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.